Well, good morning. On Saturday, July 12th, day two of this new journey, and I'm smiling here because there's so much going through my mind. Um, so many lessons, so many memories, and we'll talk about yesterday a little bit with the initial caveat that I only have certain windows that I can operate in given my number one priorities. But I miss this. I miss this. I miss connecting with people. I miss talking about it. And there's a therapeutic nature of, I believe, talking about your trading, sharing your trading with somebody else that is very, very helpful. I mentioned yesterday, I used a term that I hope I will never use again, which is dabble, right? Hey, I know this market, right? I can just dabble here and there. And of course, the minute I'm dabbling, even after hours, I have a job that requires focus after hours, right? And so the focus gets diverted. And we've talked about this in years past. When focus gets diverted, it takes the mind some time to refocus on the initial task at hand. So I can give you plenty of horror stories that relate to that. So here I am objectively realizing that, hey, I'm going to be accountable to somebody. And if I do this, I mentioned the other day, and I left something out. I said the only two things that should prevent someone who's figured this game out from profiting is motivation and showing up. I forgot the third leg of the stool, which is focus, and that misses on me. Focus, motivation, focus, and showing up. And that focus piece is so important and so difficult when one is you know focused on more important priorities. So, with that in mind, some of the memories, the lessons that came back, despite the fact that I feel that self sufficiency remains really, really important. It's tough to do this on an island. And I guess I've reminded myself that over the last few years, and now that I'm going to create some accountability, some structure, some reporting cadences, that it's so easy to fall into unforced errors. It's so easy to just get away with things. Hey, I've figured this out. I've got it. I can just go in there anytime and pluck money out of the market. No, no. If you go back to the original journal, complacency. We talked about complacency. It was prominent on the homepage, right? About how complacency can lead to failure. And so part of what I'm doing, therapeutic, and providing some accountability. So, you know, some takeaways from yesterday. So I had a little bit of time before my other job opened. My other job is really, it never closes. Again, chief financial officer for two growing companies, and I can tell you why I haven't been able to focus on trading. I mean, just imagine. The first week that I came up here in 2019, one of my goals was to create auditable financial records for 2018 and 2019, and I started this in November of 19. So I had to go back in time 2 years to create a financial infrastructure that would pass an audit, right? And I won't say that I was starting with a shoebox of receipts. It wasn't quite that bad, but it was close to it. And in the first 2 weeks in 2019, I created, if you're familiar with the accounting world, and all right, general ledger accounting systems, journal entries are called journal entries. Every transaction is memorialized with coding. And this was right before the pandemic hit. I either created, corrected, or downloaded over 40,000 journal entries. One person downloaded, coded, classified. And so again, I share that to give you some sense of what's been going on in here. It's taken me, really now 5 years, 5+ years to build out teams for two companies that are rock solid. That I would line up with any of our jelly groups, and the processes involved, and the companies that combined are doing close to $250 million in revenue. Um, so anyway, enough of that. But just to give you some perspective. So now I'm kind of I miss this. I miss doing this. Anyway, so what did yesterday tell me? And I'll share the intraday profit chart with you in the post. The morning starts off like, okay, so this is how it's going to be, right? Meaning that no question after the tariff announcement with Canada, you probably heard the phrase the taco trade, right? Trump always chickens out. So was the market going to bounce out that opening? Yeah, of course it was going to bounce. Now, trust but verify, right? Make sure you get the signals to get you in there and to add as it's going. So what does the market do? Market opens. It was flipping around pre-market and overnight, ahead of Friday's open. And so it opens, right? What does it do right at the open? It just shoots up. It just shoots up. And I had a position on, a pretty good position. And I'm trying to get out of it. And I swear, any of you who have used Thinkorswim or use it now, when Schwab bought that from TD Ameritrade, boy, did it go to hell. And this happens at least once a month, during heavy activity where you can't execute. You can't execute. So I'm trying to exit Spiders and SSO, which is the leveraged S&P fund. And I can't do it. My orders are freezing. Not quite as bad as it was when MF Global crashed, but it's like, okay, what's going on here? And I'm trying to reach support, online support. That's crowded. Phone calls, nobody's returning any calls. And I do a quick search on Twitter, and everyone's experiencing the same thing. Stuck positions, you don't know what you're in, what you're out of. And so I'm trying to get out of positions, and that was going to be my sequence. And I couldn't. And so it took almost an hour for those trades to execute and come back at me. And in the meantime, what happened? The market shoots up, 9:30, just rockets up. Perfect trade sequence, right? I can't get out of it. Or I have hung orders. I don't know if I'm out of it. And maybe I don't know, maybe it was 30 minutes later. Maybe it was an hour, 30 minutes later. Obviously, everything starts executing. And they're executing live at the price that the market's at. And so what happens? The market shoots up. And of course, does it stay up? No, it doesn't stay up. It does what it's been doing a lot lately. It shoots up. First move, initial. If you're in the trade, great. Use that as the exit. I can't exit. What does it do? Head fake. Head fake. Comes right back down through the open, tanks more before it starts to do the real move. Real move. Puts in, it tests the lows, comes back up, holds a new level, bang, bull cup, bear trap to the north. And so what you see on this intraday chart is you see some of this zigzags. So the way this software works, TraderView, it reflects market prices at positions that you're in. So if you're not even executing, it will show the up and down on that, as well as the exit and the cashed in trades. So you'll see a lot of zigzags in the morning, which should have just been straight up and flat and nothing for the rest of the day. Thankfully, I was keeping an eye on it, and once I knew everything was settled down, I got back in with a bull cup and then took it out on the real move, if you will. Now, it didn't hold that for the day, but that sequence was there. So. And again, the trades, markets, all in motion. I don't care if it's algos or what. Somebody's pushing the buttons. But those head fakes are brutal. And so I at my end anyway, I use multiple time frames, and the momentum indicators that I've got overlaid on my price chart, which I'll try to post that as well in the blog post. That can confirm when that higher time frame has also turned. If it's just that lower time frame that's turned, and the higher time frame doesn't have that Momo, boy, you can get some head fakes that are 20 points on S&P. And so that's exactly what happened yesterday morning. So so that's that. So I did trade yesterday. You'll see, P&L, $1,000, starting with 350. So we're at 351. What do you do? Again, just a reminder, these are not the tens of thousands of dollars that we've seen in years past when I was uber focused. It's a different time, it's a different place, and we'll have some fun with this, right? As I said before, there is going to be a window that opens in the future. Don't know exactly when, where we'll be able to put the substantial capital back to work, and then I'll share that whole story when we get there, which is basically concluding the trade that I'm in right now, really the trade of a lifetime that reflects the energies that I've been putting into my companies, and then what might happen down the road. So we'll leave that at that. So again, had some fun yesterday, had some frustrations, and really in the morning I'm just rolling my eyes thinking, seriously? This is how it's going to go, right? But I said I was going to report on it. The one change I made to yesterday's text post is that I'll probably do these journals weekly. It's a bit much for me to do these daily. I again don't have the time and the focus. But at the end of the week, I'm going to really try to do recaps. I appreciate everybody who's reached out to me. Those of you who've asked about more jelly programs, I don't think I'm ever going to do another jelly program, even when I have time to commit. We built out the network after that. That was intended to be a holistic financial network. We could do something like that, but a lot of those folks are trading as a team right now anyway. And I don't know. I'll never say never, but look, I'm 64 now. Uh, Always looking for ways to share and have some fun in doing it. So that's for down the road. But just some thoughts on a Saturday morning. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you're having a great weekend. Appreciate any feedback. Look forward to connecting with a lot of you again. Take care. Bye.